So we begin our meditation today, as we always do, by connecting to an intention. So it may be the same recurring intention that you have during all these different Sundays, or maybe it's different. We're connecting to whatever is alive and being open to being surprised. Okay, so I'm just going to say a few words and then we'll get into it. So, Earth as a being, as a cosmic chakra and a cosmic being, is going through a second degree initiation right now, from first to second degree. So, that means shifting from personality to soul awareness. For those of us who have been walking this path and understand what that means at the individual level, or maybe also in some group that we belong to, like Shamballa or other groups, we can see that and know what's happening in the world and rest in peace with that's okay. And for others, it's challenging. It may bring up fear. Basically, because humanity is behind schedule, but there are enough of us who have said yes, then the rest of everyone is kind of being ushered along, pushed along more rapidly than they would otherwise to make that transition to be aware of themselves as souls in a body. So we have a very important alignment coming up in a month, and that's the solstice with an eclipse. So a time that has been written about in the teachings. So what we're going to do today is journey some of that terrain and close with include a practice run, a test run, to start getting used to ourselves as antennas, as satellites for dark light, for spirit to land on the planet, in us, through us. So there's been talk from DK through Bruce about giving your consent. So I just want to mention what that means, because we say it a lot in these meditations. You give your consent, open up to the channels, So I just want to say that this energy is coming through, this life force energy is coming through, whether we give our consent or not. And this is what's been outlined in the latest teachings, that when we give our consent, then it's not destructive. It is through love. That doesn't mean there won't be purification, and there might be things that need to go, fall away, but it's not felt as destructive. It's an expression of love. So death is an expression of love, death in the sense of purification and of a rebirth, or creating space for the new and for what needs to go. So these are the points I want to make before we begin. So as usual, when I'm leading, I might change this one day, we start with the base. We're going to connect to the different layers at the base. So if you've not done a meditation with me before, that's okay. This is the expressway. And if you have, you'll recognize In our base, we're holding fear, deep-seated fear. This is the part of us that decided that it's not a loving, supportive world. I'm not accepted as love. And that's what I've come into incarnation for. So I've got to survive. And so I have to create strategies. So taking some deep breaths. And connecting to that. And maybe it's actually, you can connect it through your personal heart, that wounding, that part of you that said, yeah, I'm willing to negotiate who I really am and why I'm really here so that I can survive. And zeroing in on a cornerstone, a big boulder of your fear-based personality. We all still have some aspect of our fear-based personality. So you are bound to find something, a cornerstone that says, I'm not love. So maybe that's I'm not enough, I'm not important, I'm not seen, I'm not heard, I shouldn't exist. Whatever it is, that version of I'm not love, that is a bullseye for you. That if this could crumble, if this could be let go of, then you'd be able to remember yourself as love. So going there for yourself. One more minute for this stage. Last moments to connect to that core wound there, still alive, that I'm not love in whatever version of that for you. And now connecting to the different stories around that. When daddy left, or when mother was mean, or when my partner left me, or when I didn't get that promotion, or when I got kicked out of the community home, or when whatever happened. Different flashes of stories, memories. Let them run through like a movie. Different shots of different movies. Let them pop up. Yes, it's connected to this. Yes, it's connected to this. Yes, it's connected to that. And just allow yourself to see it like you're watching a movie. Another moment. And allow the emotions, whatever emotion is there. Maybe there's anger, rage, maybe there's fear, terror, maybe there's sadness, grief. Allow the emotional body. So we have so far the mental body and now the emotional body. Allow. Allow yourself to go and feel it. Allow the feeling. You still know you're watching a movie, but we do cry in movies, or we get scared in movies, or things happen in movies that we identify with, and there's anger. It's okay. Allow. Last moments. Allow yourself to feel. You know this story. You know this very well. It doesn't take much. And now bringing yourself to present moment in your life. Present moment meaning these days, these weeks, this time in your life, not years. How am I keeping this belief alive that I'm not love? Own it by what I'm doing or not doing, who I'm relating or not relating to, the kind of work I do or not do, whatever. How am I keeping this belief alive? How am I feeding it? Go there. All right, so now taking some responsibility. And if it supports you, you can stand, or you can do it visually, you can imagine, or you can just be sitting. And so it's like you have a crossroad in front of you. There's a road that leads to the left and a road that leads to the right, or front and back, whatever, the crossroad. Okay, and so you're standing at that crossroad. And so allow yourself to put one foot in to that space where this wound is held of I'm not loved. Just one foot, not both, one. And ask yourself, how long am I going to keep this loop running? Because I'm still feeding it today. I've just given myself the examples of how I'm doing that in my daily life. Now, how long? How much longer? Days? Years? Lifetimes? You get to decide. And it takes just one act of alignment of will, body, heart to say enough. Enough. If it is enough, take your foot out and make that stand. I'm no longer going to go there. That road will always be in front of me and I can always choose it. But I'm making a decision from that place of alignment that I'm not going to choose that road, not even for 1 foot of I'm not love. Or I'm not good enough, I'm not important, whatever it is. Okay. So that's the personality layer of matter, of our forms of human beings, mental body, and the emotional body that's grounded in physical body. When we allow that to be released, then we have access to the animal body directly. So let's go to that layer now, working down the layers through matter. the wildness that is still alive in your form. Find it. Maybe it's in your sexuality or your eros. Maybe it's in your form, in your body itself, that knows when something doesn't feel right or wants to get out of these clothes or out of these little boxes of apartment flats or cubicles or whatever the restrictions are. Connect to the wildness that comes through your body and allow it to move. Taking the leash off. This is not your pet. It's not your personality's pet. Connecting to the dignity and the life that moves through this form and its incredible wisdom and intelligence. 2 minutes. Maybe it's very erotic, sensual, pleasurable. Maybe it's raw. Animalistic. Without the wild in matter, we stand no chance of grounding life force energy. One more minute, taking any position, allowing your sounds, your voice, breath, claws, tail, hips, jaw, tongue. The part that will not be domesticated and made polite. And if you slow down, can you feel that it's moving you instead of you doing it? As a vibration, as an energy, like a seismic, kind of earthquake-ish, before the big earthquake hits, before the seismic hit, there's a vibration, allow that to come through. 1 more minute. Allow it to show you and feel its power. And now from this place, and you don't have to stop moving, just keep allowing the body to be in its fullness and its expression, no leash, for 2 more minutes at least. Connecting to when you decided in this life, or maybe lifetimes ago, that you're going to disconnect from your wildness and from the wildness of the earth, from nature. Through the evolution of human beings, we've done that. And therefore we're afraid. Allow nature to reclaim you. Allow those roots of nature, the way they reclaim buildings that are left unattended for some years. The way holes open in the earth and swallow up parts of expressways, Allow Earth to reclaim you. Allow nature to reclaim you. This isn't actually an offering, it's just a remembering, because this is the absolute truth. This body is part of nature, made of its elements. Surrender. And let go of the fear that this form needs to survive. And whatever your personality, fear-based personality, will do so that this form survives. This form was never meant to survive. It's meant to be part of the cycle of life. It's meant to be used and lived, listened to. Cycle of nature. Everything gets recycled in nature. Everything. And not only on our planet, but in the entire galaxy and the cosmos. Everything. This form can only survive, what, 60, 50, 80, 90, 100, 120 years? What? What is that? In the lifespan of humanity, in the lifespan of this earth, last minute. Allow yourself to be reclaimed into the kingdoms of nature. Allow yourself to be held and to feel the love that flows up through this great being that surrounds us, Earth. And now we're going to drop down one more layer. It's not just about humanity and our initiation through into the second soul initiation. Can I recognize myself as part and connected to kingdoms of nature? When a species becomes extinct, is that a part of me that becomes extinct in form? Feel it in your being. When animals are raised so that they can simply be killed, is that what I'm afraid of? Because I remember, some part of me knows that I'm part of that chain. I'm also an animal. And it's maybe easy to see my pet dog or cat and their soul, but can I see the soul of the animal kingdom as I see the soul of others? Let yourself be fully reclaimed. We're gonna go down one more layer to the purity of spirit and matter. Emptiness. There is no self. And forms are something to play with. All those details, all those expressions of form go deeper than that, going to the dark emptiness of nothing, which subsequently fills all forms, is the source of the forms, but is not the form. Spirit held in matter. Perhaps it helps you to feel or visualize that you're emptying of your organs, of your veins, your bones, and your blood. Allow it to just draw all of it, an empty shell. And from this emptiness at the core of matter, all matter, allow black smoke or black light to start to fill this form. Nothingness of matter being filled with spirit, the emptiness. Another minute. Evoke, demand to see the truth, to be shown reality as it is. That form creates itself around spirit. So that must mean that this is simply the form that has created itself around this drop of spirit, this fractal of spirit. What attachment could I have to it? What attachment could there be to it? And when I've allowed nature to reclaim me in this incarnation and reconnected myself with the kingdoms of this planet, how can I believe that this is not a supportive, loving place with a higher purpose than to just survive? Let that sink in deeply. From this place, what actually needs to survive? Trusting whatever the answer is. It might be a vision, it might be a word, it might be kinesthetic, a feeling, sense of knowing. what needs to survive. Being able to put it into one word or one phrase, naming it out loud, loud enough to hear yourself, crystallizing it, materializing it. This is what needs to survive. Let spirit through matter speak through you. It needs our forms to express itself in this material plane. Now we've explored the wildness of matter. We're going to move to the wildness of the soul. Doesn't mean we leave matter behind. The soul moves through this matter, expresses itself through this form. Connecting to the crown area of your body above the head. That which I hold most sacred, that which I will stand for no matter what, that which I am here to express, my one drop in the ocean. That version of love, what is it? Name it. Maybe it's truth, maybe it's freedom, maybe it's beauty, maybe it's ceremony and magic, maybe it's connections. That which I hold the most sacred. The highest expression of love, according to me. Now allow the wildness of that and allowing it to descend and allowing it to fill this matter, this form, and to express the wildness of that. Maybe it's through tears, maybe it's through visions, maybe it's through creations through hand, maybe it's through words and poetry, maybe it's through painting. What is the wildness that will not be contained, that will not conform to the conditioning and expectations of mommy, daddy, culture, religion, whatever it is. The wildness of this love. 2 minutes. Allow it. Embody it. Give it a voice, give it a sound, give it form. Let it land, let it express. It doesn't have to be extremely yang, but let it have some expression in the material plane. Let it be seen, let it be heard, let it be felt. 1 more minute. And now allow both wildness at the same time, the wildness of the soul meeting the wildness of the animal. Allow the wildness of the base and the wildness of the crown to meet. You may have no idea what that really means. It doesn't matter. You don't get to decide. Mind and personality doesn't get to decide. You just step out of the way and you allow these two energies to meet. We've just activated them. Just allow one to descend and one to ascend until they meet. Both are expressions of love. The wild animal and the wild soul. The dragon and the rider becoming one. What happens in that meeting? Two more minutes. These two forces need to be of equal power to match and to unite, to connect like hand and glove. One more minute. What is the quality of the energy when these two come into union? Without the middleman, without the personality in between. Naming it for yourself. This is the union. Heart, of soul. Wild soul, wild love. Wild animal, wild nature. This is our initiation. As a humanity, as a planet. This. Now we're going to go into the third stage, last stage. Prepping for our alignment for the solstice. It's one that we can already start to practice, and we have been practicing it. I'm going to name places on the globe where I know you are right now because I can see you. And you just in the dark feel that there's other beings that have this alignment, this connection of spirit and matter, soul and matter, this connection of nature and soul, remembering each other and coming into unity. United States, and feel or see that there's a light that comes and shines, dark light on the map. Estonia, France, Australia, Finland, Scotland, Germany, the Caribbean, Africa, because I know Isioma can hold the whole continent on our behalf. And allowing the group connection, bodies you have never met, minds you have never explored with, physical spaces and time you have never shared, and yet there is a bond, there is a connection. Feel the group love now, that you do not stand alone. And that this can only be done through group love, through group initiation, through group standing together. Feel those points on the map and others that you know are holding this. And allow the wildness of spirit to pierce you through the heart. Not the personal heart of your personal likes and dislikes, not even the soul part of your heart, of your transpersonal connections and your mission and your purpose and why you're here. No, the core of your heart, the one heartbeat that beats all of us, that beats the entire cosmos. A fierce love. A love that will destroy anything that is not aligned with the true power of love. Feeling that wildness of spirit, the way our planets in the solar system are racing through the cosmos, the way the stars are spiraling and comets flying everywhere. Now focusing on the galactic center. Singularity. The one heartbeat. The one us. The one me. The one you. The one. Just one. All your lifetimes exist here, past, present, and future. Everyone. All there ever is, has been, and will be. Feeling like you are that satellite antenna through the heart center. Allow this energy to land and pour through. And for this last minute, demanding Shambhala energy to put you in your place. Because the worst thing that could happen is for you to get through this lifetime and not be in your place. A lifetime wasted, not fully lived. Where do I need to be? With who? And doing what? Or being what? Serving how? Put me in my place. I surrender all my ideas, dreams, longings, and wishes of what those answers should be. From personality and from soul. And allow the messages, whether they're in visions or in knowing words that you hear, however they come, show me my place. I'm willing. I'm ready. Now. Just letting that settle. Maybe something came, maybe something didn't. The point is to have the inquiry, allow the surrender, the true inquiry, being put in your place by life force, by Shamballa-Force. Space is open if anybody would like to share anything. We have come to the conclusion of our guided practice today, and just taking a moment before you share, just to reconnect to your intention. Recognizing where that sits in the alignment of animal body, soul, union, spirit infused. If anybody would like to share anything, you can unmute yourself and then mute yourself back, or you can use the chat. If you don't feel to share right now, you can always type in your sharing later in the comments of the video of the event. And you can try to see what happens if you put on your camera, because I see some of you now. I can say that this was one of the more powerful versions of what I've guided through the levels of matter. And it's a reflection of my ability to put into words and translate into experiences or invitations to experiences as a result of opening up to my third ray monadic, to my third monadic ray, third, seventh ray. So that was very special for me. And also that this alignment of animal body with soul, the wildness of nature and the wildness of soul, the wildness of love, reuniting at last. Letting go of this I'm not love, or this place isn't love. And then surrendering it all, letting it be pierced by spirit. And this is our practice. Our practice for the solstice will be to align as satellites did in order to take a picture of the black hole. And when I first heard about that story, I watched it on the news, on Facebook or something. I cried, I wept. I wept, not because a picture had been taken, but because of the collaboration, that was finally possible. And so much is possible we can't even dream of or imagine through group collaboration and group love and group connection. And that's what the solstice is inviting us to do, to be one satellite, one group of satellites all across the globe, aiming at the same, holding the same, and feeling each other. This is only something that can be done in group. It cannot be done by an individual, by one telescope, one satellite. It cannot be done. Okay, so there was some type comment. Yes, it was amazing. Thank you, Taki'h. And another one, Aho. If anybody would like to share, I know we're at time. If you need to go, it's understandable. If there's anything you'd like to share, verbally or written, I'll give it a couple more minutes. If nobody speaks up, that's also okay.
I wanted to share. It was super powerful for me. So thank you so much for holding such a powerful container. Whenever I step in and really surrender to spirit, like I can really feel, I mean, I am a channeler, and I really step into channel, and I felt very conflicted because I was doing a lot of work on the individuals in the group, and I could see all these satellites, and I was bringing stuff through, and it was just so beautiful. And there was this raging fire, and I think, Taki'h, you were the fire in the middle, like holding us in this satellite of web. It was web, and it was just, And I came late, so it was really like short and fast, and 40 minutes later, boom, done. Okay, cool. So I'm very grateful, and it's a beautiful Sunday to be all together. So thank you.
Thank you. Going once. Okay, there's a type message. My mic doesn't work. Okay. It was very powerful. Where before I have seen an antenna of light, I now saw an antenna of both light and dark light being joined together.
For me, there was a lot of different aspects to all that, but the one that blew me away is when you named all of the countries. That was really incredible. The fire in that in my heart was undeniable. Like I had to actually swirl it around because it was just like it was, yeah, it was something else. It was something else to really feel that. It was definitely not just me. It was definitely like palpably that's what kind of just really still is kind of in my memory of like how you're saying like, whoa, we're really doing this together. It's just kind of like, it's like I almost want to shrink into a, that didn't really happen because it was just so, I don't know how to explain it in words, to be honest. But that's what really, really, really stood out for me. Like my heart's still aflame from that. It's like I'm sweating.
Thank you. And yes, for all of us and those who are watching the replay, to connect is what happens in your whole body, in your heart, in your soul, in your whole being. To know that we have finally, as a humanity, arrived at that stage. And yeah, it's still kindergarten stage, but still, we have arrived at that stage of collaboration, of doing things together. And what that does to me, yes, there was that shrinking and all of that of like, oh, really? Can I just go back to being my small self? But there's also this like relief and excitement and arousal, eros and passion and fire and yes, all of that. So yeah, for everyone to recognize what that does for yourself, for you at different layers. Okay, anyone else? One, two, three. Okay, so thank you everybody for joining us today, not me, us. Mwah.